Folks, welcome to the part 6. Fantastic day ahead. If you have not clicked the join button, click it, become the member, and gain access to unlimited access to all of these cloud content AWS, GCP, Azure. Please hit the subscribe button if you have not yet. If you are wondering what happened to part 5 is only for members. So you will have to purchase this at a very small premium, gain access to all the other parts. Let us jump into the question now. See, boss, you have your Hadoop jobs. Okay. Now you are moving to a new cluster, but you want to use same jobs, and some data is there in the cluster. That data, even if the cluster dies, this is important, boss. Listen this. Even if the cluster dies, the data should not be lost. That means one thing is sure, you have to store your data somewhere else also. Where? Where you can save it so that it does not get lost. One space, man, one space. That is cloud storage. If the entire world kicks your ass, you can still go to your parents. If the entire world criticizes you, you can still go to their parents and find comfort. Cloud storage is that parent for you, for your data. Now option A, it is telling boss I will use data flow job to process the data. Yes boss, that is fine. But where will you store this data for this requirement? Who will answer that? The solution is incomplete. It is wrong. See, B is giving you full solution. But the solution is they will still keep it on disk in SDFS. What if SDFS cluster goes down? What will happen? Where will the data be stored? We are telling you for life of the beyond the life of cluster, beyond the life of pi. Cluster goes down, this will go down. C says they will use persistent disks. See, this is again block storage. Your virtual machine goes down, your block storage wipes out, man. It wipes out. This is like AWS EBS. First of all, they are talking about Hadoop cluster. God knows how you will put that Hadoop cluster on compute engine persistent disk. This does not go well. For that high volume compute processing, why will you put it on a VM and use persistent disk? That does not go well. Now D says something which is logical. You will use Dataproc cluster, create Dataproc cluster, and use storage connectors to store the data. So this looks correct. See, Dataproc is born to run Hadoop, Spark, and other tools and jobs. So that is a good fit. Okay, that is a perfect fit. And then you have this connector to put the data beyond the life of the cluster. Where will you put in cloud storage? So this is my answer. Cloud storage is just like your parents, like I explained. If your friends kick you out, you can still go to your parents' home. See here, bank has given you bank transactions. We want to run machine learning. Now, what can we use? First one says supervised learning to check which are fraud. See, fraudulent, you always know out of there are 100 transactions, probably one or two might be fraudulent. That means these are outliers. Whenever we talk about outlier detection, we use unsupervised learning and not supervised. For example, Ranveer Singh, among so many actors, he is the only guy who will behave weird in front of public, who will dress up in a weird way in front of public. Probably he has that kind of courage. But if we want to know who are the people who are like him, who are the actors who are like him, so these are outliers. Like normal actors, nobody does such things. Outlier. 1 out of 100 is doing such things. So if you want to know that, we use supervised learning, unsupervised learning, not supervised. See, as it is, Ranveer Singh is a unsupervised guy. No? Nobody is supervising him. So remember that way. So unsupervised learning we use to understand which are fraudulent transactions, because we are trying to identify outliers. See, clustering we have to use because we will we will divide transactions into different categories. Like what? Simple man. Who are the people who are spending more? Who are the people who are spending medium? Who are spending high? Who are the people who are spending very high? That means someone like Ambani's, someone like Warren Buffett. Sorry, not like Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett only makes money. He does not spend money. He still eats $1 McDonald's. Now, other thing that you can use is D, supervised learning. So we have to choose three answers. So supervised learning to predict location of a transaction. So here we use supervised learning. We do not use unsupervised or reinforcement. So these two are wrong. So this reinforcement learning they are using in OpenAI gym games. So you can pause and read this documentation here if you are interested. So reinforcement learning is a form of machine learning. An agent takes actions into environment to maximize given objective over this sequence of steps. So in short, this would be my answer. See, you have Hadoop servers, okay, and they are dying off now. So you are migrating them to GCP Dataproc. So GCP Dataproc is born for this Apache, Hadoop, Spark, and so on. Okay, so this is good. Cloud Dataproc is good. Oh, now what is the problem? See, they are moving 50 terabyte of data. Okay, and since the volume is very high, the client is saying, boss, my storage cost is high now. So we have to give a solution to reduce the storage cost. So whenever you think of reducing storage cost in cloud world, Google cloud world, cloud storage. Cloud storage is your vada pav of Bombay. You don't have enough money for a good three-course meal, have vada pav. Cloud storage is that. Vada pav never says no to anybody. Similarly, nobody says no to vada pav. Okay, so uh, now you might say, hey, in South people don't have vada pav. They have aloo bonda, which is vada pav only. So this is my answer. Okay, but let us look at other options also. See here they are saying they will use VM and Dataproc cluster. That will not reduce. It is expensive compared to cloud storage. This is wrong then. Now C is saying, boss, tune the cluster to make some enough space on the disk. Boss, that will not work. You are talking about 50 terabytes. How much will you tune? It is like Windows Explorer tells you, no, clean your disk space. That will work only for small files, not for 50 terabytes. Now this one is saying option D, it is giving you two solutions, boss. Partial, they are saying use cloud storage for cold data where it is not used frequently, and all hot data that is very frequently used data put in persistent disk. See, this is cheaper compared to what we have in the question, but the cheapest is put everything in cloud storage is cheapest. See, option D is like, boss, you have half plate biryani and half plate vada pav and one vada pav. Option A is like you just have two vada pavs. So two vada pavs is cheaper than half plate biryani and vada pav. So that's why we will strike out D. So this would be my final answer. People, if you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Please hit the subscribe button. I am posting almost daily contents on Azure, GCP, AWS. Please let me know what more you want from me from a questions perspective. Which topic should I cover? What certifications more should I cover? By the way, if you have not yet become a member means obviously you have to pay something. So Cloud Kernel and Cloud Ninja, you have two all intermediate certifications I'll be putting on Cloud Kernel membership. All advanced certifications like Solution Architect Professional, AWS Data Analytics, and so on, I will put in Cloud Ninja membership. So it's common sense Cloud Ninja will be expensive. Cloud Kernel will be cheaper than Cloud Ninja. But I will also continue posting questions for subscribers as well. But if you want a foolproof understanding of all the questions, better to take the membership. This brings us to the end of this part. See you in the next part.